Picture the world waking up to a seismic headline. A fortress-like nuclear facility, hidden deep under a mountain in Iran, has been shattered by a meticulously coordinated aerial assault. This is not fiction. This is the story of the Fordow nuclear site, an event that has shaken the foundations of global security and thrown nuclear diplomacy into uncharted territory. The shockwaves from these airstrikes are not confined to Iran. They ripple through every capital from Washington to Tel Aviv, from Riyadh to Moscow, and far beyond. But as the dust settles, crucial questions emerge. Is this just a temporary blow to Iran's nuclear ambitions? Or have we entered a new, even more perilous chapter in the decades-long nuclear standoff in the Middle East? To grasp the magnitude of what happened at Fordow, we need to journey back in time. Fordow is not just another facility. It is a symbol of secrecy, resilience, and the escalating game of nuclear chess. Built in utmost secrecy beneath the rugged mountains near the holy city of Qom, Fordow was designed to be the ultimate insurance policy for Iran's nuclear program. Its existence was kept hidden from the world until the autumn of 2009, when Western intelligence agencies, after painstaking detective work, revealed the site's location and purpose. The revelation stunned the global community. Here was a site, buried under more than 80 meters of solid rock, equipped to house approximately 3,000 advanced centrifuges. Its mission? To enrich uranium, a process that can yield fuel for civilian reactors, or, if pushed far enough, the raw material for nuclear weapons. The mere discovery of Fordow marked a turning point in international relations. Western powers, particularly the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany, recognized that Iran's ability to conceal such a significant facility signaled a new level of sophistication. The fact that Fordow was built to survive sustained bombing campaigns sent a clear message. Iran was investing for the long haul, preparing for any scenario, even all-out war. As one Western intelligence official memorably put it, Fordow was not constructed to withstand the passage of time. It was engineered to withstand the most powerful bombs in the world. But history has a way of repeating itself. In the autumn of 2019, amid mounting tensions and the collapse of the nuclear agreement after the United States withdrawal, Iran resumed enrichment at Fordow. This was not merely a technical move, it was a political thunderclap. The underground labyrinth came back to life, once again spinning uranium and reigniting fears of a regional arms race. Fast forward to the summer of 2025. On a stifling July morning, a series of precision airstrikes, jointly orchestrated by the United States and Israel, rained down on Fordow. The operation was unprecedented in both scale and technology. The United States deployed its most advanced bunker-busting munitions, known as massive ordnance penetrators. These bombs, weighing over 14 tons each, are designed to burrow through layers of reinforced concrete and granite before detonating with devastating force. Their target? The very heart of Fordow's centrifuge halls and ventilation shafts. In the immediate aftermath, confusion reigned. Iranian officials, usually quick to downplay setbacks, were uncharacteristically candid. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi spoke to the Iranian Students' News Agency, admitting that the site had suffered serious and heavy damage. He acknowledged that Fordow was currently non-operational, and that even his own government lacked a precise understanding of the current status. Behind closed doors, panic and uncertainty spread through Iran's political and military elite. How badly was the core infrastructure damaged? Could it be rebuilt? And at what cost? The United States, for its part, claimed that Fordow had been completely destroyed, though, as is so often the case in the shadowy world of nuclear security, no independent verification was immediately available. Iran refused to release photographs or technical details, fueling a frenzy of speculation in global media and policy circles. Satellite imagery showed signs of devastation, collapsed entrances, signs of fire, and a flurry of activity as emergency teams rushed to the scene. But the full extent of the damage remained shrouded in mystery. Rafael Grossi, the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, offered a rare glimpse behind the curtain. There was no escaping significant physical damage at Fordow, he confirmed in a press briefing. The centrifuges there are no longer operational. With this statement, the world learned what many had feared. One of Iran's most closely guarded nuclear assets had been knocked offline, at least for now. But the mystery only deepened. International inspectors who had been monitoring Fordow as part of the nuclear deal had been barred from all Iranian nuclear sites since mid-June. This blackout left the global community flying blind. How much enriched uranium did Iran possess before the strike? Had any of it been moved out of Fordow in anticipation of the attack? Were there other undisclosed facilities now coming online? Here, the plot thickens. Nuclear analyst Eric Brewer, with the Nuclear Threat Initiative, reported credible intelligence that Iran may have used a fleet of trucks to quietly transport nuclear materials out of Fordow just days before the bombs fell. If true, this would mean that some of Iran's most sensitive assets, potentially including highly enriched uranium and advanced centrifuge components, are now unaccounted for. David Albright, a leading expert from the Institute for Science and International Security, went further, warning that the Iranians are actively working at the two bomb impact sites, trying to penetrate the ventilation shafts and assess what can be salvaged. Inside Iran, this unprecedented attack has triggered a profound dilemma for the country's leadership. Should they rush to rebuild Fordow, risking further escalation and possibly inviting even more devastating strikes? Or should they leverage the crisis to seek fresh negotiations with the West, hoping for sanctions relief and a new diplomatic framework? Every option is fraught with risk. If Iran chooses to double down, it could pour resources into a rapid reconstruction effort, not just at Fordow, but perhaps at new, even more secretive sites. The country has a long history of engineering resilience under pressure. After the Natanz facility was sabotaged in 2021, Iran managed to restore operations with remarkable speed. Could Fordow see a similar resurrection? Experts warn that Iran's nuclear engineers are resourceful and motivated. Even now, according to intelligence leaks, teams are working around the clock to evaluate the bombed infrastructure and recover whatever equipment and data they can. Alternatively, Iran might use the chaos as a bargaining chip. The absence of IAEA inspectors since mid-June is a glaring blind spot. Global leaders are understandably anxious about what could be happening in the shadows. Eric Brewer suggests that if Iran did indeed spirit away significant quantities of enriched uranium, it now possesses a powerful card at the negotiating table. This uncertainty places tremendous pressure on all parties to resume talks, and perhaps this crisis will become the catalyst for a new, even tougher agreement. Such a deal would need to address not only uranium enrichment, but also verification mechanisms, sanctions relief, and broader questions of regional security, including missile development and proxy conflicts. Even beyond the immediate region, the world is holding its breath. Major powers like Russia and China have their own interests in Iran's future, from arms sales to energy deals. Moscow, for example, has long maintained a delicate balance, supporting Iran's civilian nuclear program while quietly opposing nuclear weapons proliferation. Beijing, meanwhile, sees Iran as a crucial partner in its Belt and Road Initiative, investing billions of dollars in infrastructure in exchange for access to oil and strategic footholds. The destruction of Fordow complicates these relationships, injecting new uncertainty into already complex alliances. This brings us to a crucial question. What does this mean for you, as a global citizen, an investor, a technologist, or simply someone concerned about the future? The Fordow crisis is a powerful reminder that no facility, however fortified, is invulnerable in the age of 21st century warfare. Advances in satellite surveillance, cyber espionage, and precision-guided munitions have changed the rules of the game. Even the deepest bunkers, once thought untouchable, are now within reach of modern arsenals. For the international system, the lesson is equally stark. The power and severe limitations of global oversight are on full display. When agencies like the IAEA are shut out, the world loses its ability to monitor, verify, and contain nuclear risks. This lack of transparency fuels anxiety, drives up global risk premiums, and can send shockwaves through financial markets. Consider this. After news of the Fordow strike broke, energy prices spiked, with oil futures rising by nearly 10% in a single day as traders braced for potential disruption of Gulf shipping lanes and pipelines. Insurance costs for maritime transport soared, and global stock markets experienced increased volatility. The uncertainty extends to the digital realm as well. Nations facing similar threats are accelerating investments in both physical fortifications and advanced cybersecurity, keenly aware that the next attack might not come from the sky but through the internet, targeting critical infrastructure, communications, or financial networks. For countries around the world, Fordow serves as a case study in both resilience and vulnerability. In East Asia, where tensions between North Korea and its neighbors remain high, military planners are re-examining the security of their own underground sites. In Europe, intelligence agencies are poring over lessons learned from the Fordow attack, considering what it means for the safety of nuclear power plants and sensitive research facilities. Even in the United States, debates have intensified about how best to protect domestic infrastructure, be it energy grids, data centers, or military command bunkers, against new forms of attack. For investors and business leaders, the message is clear. Monitor developments closely and be prepared to adapt. Global supply chains, especially those connected to energy, technology, and defense, are entering a period of heightened risk. Companies may need to diversify sources, invest in new security measures, and stay agile as political landscapes shift. For those working in technology, the crisis underscores the need for robust cybersecurity, resilient logistics, and contingency planning. If you are a policymaker, Fordow is a wake-up call. It highlights the importance of international dialogue, robust verification regimes, and the need to address not only nuclear technology, but also the broader security ecosystem. That includes missile proliferation, proxy militias, and the growing threat of asymmetric warfare. For activists and concerned citizens, it is a reminder of the crucial role that transparency, public awareness, and sustained engagement play in holding leaders accountable and reducing the risk of catastrophic miscalculation. So, what are the possible futures that lie ahead? Experts outline several scenarios. 1. Iran could go for broke, embarking on a crash program to rebuild Fordow or construct new, even deeper facilities. This would likely trigger an arms race, with Saudi Arabia and possibly Turkey seeking their own nuclear capabilities. 2. Iran might use the crisis as leverage, extracting concessions in exchange for renewed inspections and limits on enrichment. 3. The worst-case scenario, a spiral of tit-for-tat attacks, leading to open conflict that could engulf the entire region and draw in major powers. There is also a fourth, more hopeful path. In this scenario, the shock of Fordow's destruction becomes a catalyst for comprehensive negotiations, not just between Iran and the West, but among all regional stakeholders. This could produce a new type of security architecture for the Middle East, one that addresses not only nuclear issues but also missile threats, cyber warfare, and economic integration. Such a breakthrough would require extraordinary political courage and compromise, but history shows it is not impossible. As we watch this high-stakes drama unfold, remember, the story of Fordow is not just about bombs and bunkers. It is about the future of international order, the balance of power in a volatile region, and the potential for both catastrophe and reconciliation. Every move, every statement, every negotiation, every covert operation will shape the world we live in for years, if not decades, to come. So, will Iran escalate by rebuilding Fordow, or will this crisis finally force new diplomatic negotiations? The most likely outcome, at least in the near term, is a tense standoff. Iran's leaders will weigh their options carefully, using the destruction of Fordow both to rally domestic support and to gain leverage on the world stage. And here's a secret that's only now coming to light. Intelligence reports suggest that, even before the attack, Iran had already begun quietly dispersing critical technologies and materials to a network of smaller, less conspicuous sites across the country. This means that the nuclear question will not vanish with the destruction of one facility. The challenge of verification, transparency, and trust remains as daunting as ever. The coming weeks and months will reveal whether this devastating strike leads to more confrontation or a rare chance for real progress. One thing is certain, the world cannot afford to look away. Stay with us for the latest updates as this high-stakes saga continues to unfold. If you want deeper analysis of the nuclear crisis, the technology shaping our future, or how these historic events could impact your investments, your security, and your daily life, subscribe to our channel and join the conversation below. What do you think Iran's next move will be? Will the world seize this moment to build a safer future, or stumble into